Hey guys, Well Customs here, and today we are taking a look at the DC Multiverse. This is the Shazam movie, Shazam figure. Zachary Levi right there. Looks pretty cool. Here is the artwork in the front. You have them both on the sides right there. Take a look at the back. You only get two figures right now, Dr. Savannah and Shazam. Mark Strong. It's pretty cool. Let's open them up. Alright, with the figure out of the box, it does come with three pairs of different hands right here. One pair that are fist hands right here, one pair that are flying hands that are pretty straight, and the other ones are open grip hands right there. Here he is with the open grip hands, which will probably be the more fun pairs of hands to use with him because you can have him holding pizzas, food, drinks, just having a good time overall. Now here he is with the flying hands right here, if you want to call it that. Looks pretty good. He overall looks pretty nice in a nice flying pose. And last here he is with the fist hands, which obviously you can do a lot of different things with it. Size comparison time. Alright, so right now we have some Justice League members from different series. We have Batman and Superman at the end right there from Mafex, and we have Flash and Aquaman right here from Mattel. Overall, actually he has some height, Shazam does. Obviously Mafex do vary in sizes compared to DC Mattel figures, but overall here they are side by side. And here's in a close-up, side-by-side view of Superman and Batman with Shazam. And now here is Shazam with Aquaman and Flash. Now close-up, you can see that Aquaman and Shazam actually have about the same size and height. Overall, it doesn't look that bad, and he definitely is taller than Flash. Alright, next up in size comparisons, we have Wonder Woman right here, and next to him on the other side is Cyborg. Alright, next up right here we have some comic book base figures. We have Rebirth Superman. We have my custom Batman figure right here, which I said are comic book base, so now you can see how basically a movie version Shazam stacks up with comic book figures. Not bad. I mean, maybe if you change out the head, it might be a little bit better, but the bodies are definitely a little bit different, of course, as you can see, a little more slimmer overall. Next up right here we have more comic book based characters. We have Wonder Woman and we have New 52 Superman. Alright, next up right here we have the Kingdom Come Superman, and we also have, I guess you could say, the New 52 more modern Shazam figure right here, which is a Comic-Con exclusive. Next up we have the Infinity War Thor right here, and we have basically a comic book Captain America right there for a nice size comparison. And for another size comparison, we have some Marvel Legend figures in Deadpool and Spider-Man for a nice size comparison off some base figure molds. Alright, now for some fun with some big heavy hitters, we have Thing, The Thing, and SH Figuarts Hulk right there. And, you know, just for fun. And now to end off the size comparisons, we have some other DC Multiverse figures from the latest Lobo wave. We have Batman Beyond and we have Green Lantern Kyle. Actually, I like this size comparison because this is a smaller body and this is a medium body. And generally, it looks like their figures are actually getting a little bit taller in general. So you can see like even Green Lantern and Shazam are actually around the same height overall. Alright, so let's look at this figure up close and personal. First off, let's look at the head sculpt of Zachary Levi Shazam right here. Not bad. He does have a smirk, of course, so he has a little bit of a different face. The eyebrows are raised. I know some people have some problems on their paint apps for the eyebrows. I'm not really going to complain that much about it. Overall, the face sculpt looks okay. Not the greatest, but not horrible at least. So I'll give it a passing grade. The hair looks pretty decent. Nothing special about it as well, though. Alright, now looking at the rest of the body, he does have some textured 2D body, so it looks pretty nice, especially when the light bounces off it. Overall, you know, pretty basic though, nothing special about it to be honest. Looking at the chest right there, let me zoom in on that. Looks pretty good. Not bad. I'm going to go over the paint apps later because there is a serious issue on mine at least. But overall the sculpting looks pretty good. He has some small details in the gold around the bolt right there. Look at the cape on the back. The cape actually looks pretty nice. A lot of detail on the cape, so I like that. All those little designs going down. So they have some details on the cape, which is pretty good. I also want to point out the softness of the cape. It's pretty much a soft rubber, not the softest overall, but it's not hard. So you shouldn't have any problems when posing. Now going down to the rest of the body, all over his red parts of his outfit, you do have that texture right there, so it looks pretty nice. More gold accents on the rest of the parts of his outfit, like the forearm guards and also the belt right here, which looks pretty nice. You do have the lightning bolt in the middle, and I guess some lightning bolts on the side right there. Paint apps could be less than desirable though, which is kind of disappointing. But you do have some little bit of a white accent inside there, so that's pretty nice. Going down to the legs, more of that red texture right there. And here is his boots, more of a lightning bolt, and pretty standard looking boots, but nothing to complain about. Alright, so going to articulation right now, he has a hinge at the neck, and I believe a ball joint as well, so it goes up pretty decent, not bad at all. Doesn't go down at all, pretty much is straight, and goes about left and right, and that's about it. Doesn't pivot at all to the side. On his shoulders right here, he has hinge joints that rotate and go all the way up like that. They go out like that, which is pretty nice. He does have bicep swivel right there. He has two joints at the elbow. Look at that. That is fantastic. It looks kind of weird, but at least you have it. And at the wrist right here, he has a hinge and a swivel, so that's pretty nice as well. Alright, going down to the torso right now, he has a hinge ball joint right there, so you can kind of see it right there where the hinge is, and I think there's a ball joint in there connecting it. So you do have a lot of movement, which is nice. I do like that. It also does turn left and right. You can pivot it a little bit to the side, which is pretty good. That's that ball joint in there, so it's pretty decent overall. He also does have a swivel at the waist right there, so you have a lot of movement in the upper body, which is nice. Going down to the hips right here, his T-jointed hips, pretty standard. They go up about 90 degrees, no problems right there. They go back, not at all. Split-wise, no problem for Shazam. He does have a thigh swivel, 2 points at the knee as well, which is great. And at the ankle right here, he has a hinge that goes up and down. I think he has a pivot, but it rocks a little bit, but pretty much is useless. So when it comes to articulation, to be honest, this figure is pretty good. You could get him to nice poses with the double jointed elbows and knees. Fantastic to have. He's a slim figure as well, so you know, no bulky muscles would get in the way of posing him overall. If you want to do that dabbing thing he does, if you change out the hands, you could do that as well. But he could pretty much do that too, like that. Whatever, right? So let's talk about quality control, especially when it comes to the paint. Because before I get into articulation, the quality control isn't the greatest on this figure, to be honest. I have seen a lot of splotches on my figure. You take a look at the belt also. The belt's not even finished on the sides, which is kind of disappointing. There's some splotching over here on his, I don't know if I could take it off actually, but yeah, on his gold right there, on his chest. Not the greatest, and one thing I hate, which I could never have seen anyway, right here, is BAM! Look at that. That looks pretty bad. Now from the looks of it, it actually looks like the paint came off, so you can see the bottom is actually like a kind of a clear red plastic underneath that, so that's pretty interesting. So the skin tone is actually painted on, and underneath it's actually almost like a red color. Paint apps could be a lot better. I'm not sure how it transitions for every other figure in this mass-produced line. Hopefully you had better ones, but there are some noticeable paint application mess-ups. Alright, so before I end the video, I want to point out a couple of things just that I noticed. Overall, the quality of the figure is pretty good when it comes to sculpting and articulation. All my joints, they feel pretty good. You know me, I always had to fix joints, but this one's pretty good. At least my copy, at least, so I'm pretty happy with it. But I do want to point out a couple of things. For one thing, if you look at the legs, just pointing it out, I don't think it's a bad thing at all, but there's like a little bit of a line right here, and it kind of peaks up at the legs right here that matches up with the little design. So sometimes if you get it out of, like turn the leg right there to turn the thigh, it doesn't match up that well. You can kind of see the difference in sculpt. Nothing horrible, just want to point that out. And also want to point out in the back here, the tricep, that little lip is kind of jutting out a little bit. It's just how it is. So sometimes if you bring his arms forward like that, you do have a little bit of a gap that you might notice. Not horrible, but just something to point out. But overall, I do like the figure. It feels pretty good. The plastic feels a little bit different in my opinion. I don't know what it is. I'm not going to say it's hollow feeling, but it definitely feels a little bit different. I don't know if it's just this figure because, you know, it has a lot of texture over his body. Maybe that's what it is. But overall, like I said, I like this figure. Very fun. I think the articulation is fantastic. You could get a lot of different fun poses with him, doing fun stuff, just hanging out. And it's a fun character, so I can't wait for this movie overall. You definitely have a lot of fun possibilities with this guy. And yeah, so that's about it, guys. I hope this video was helpful and fun. And that's about it. Thank you for watching. Like always, comment, criticize, subscribe, do whatever you want to pay attention. Follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. Peace!
That's crispy.